All right. I know that this is being live broadcasted in the networking hall. If you're watching and listening to this, strongly recommend that you make your way over here. This is the panel that I've been actually waiting for when I first put together this entire conference, as this is the panel where we put together the asset issuers that are actually currency denominated stablecoins in the Asian region. And I must say, some of these are not launched yet, but with a great excitement, I have no doubt that you will launch eventually. So let me just start with who we have here. I feel incredibly lucky to have this amazing group of speakers. We have stablecoin asset issuers from Indonesia, the Philippines, potential issuers from Japan, South Korea, and an existing asset issuer from Malaysia. Why don't you guys just do a quick round of an intro, give us a quick introduction on your stablecoin project, and lastly, really quickly, in your country that you're based in, what is your go-to-market strategy in order to make sure that you're putting your own stablecoin in everybody's hand in your country? Starting with Niall, please.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. My name is Niall, co-founder and CEO of IDRX, the most trusted and reliable Indonesian rupiah-backed stablecoin. And regarding the go-to-market strategy, we do think that by having comply with the regulator should be the priority for us as the most trusted local stablecoin in Indonesia. Otherwise, then we cannot becoming the most trusted and even penetrate the market if we are not comply with the regulators in Indonesia.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Wei Zhou, the CEO for Coins.ph. And we're the largest and licensed and exchange and wallet in the Philippines. And then the stablecoin that we are issuing is the PHPC, which is a peso-backed stablecoin. I think the stablecoin has been live for about a year now. We entered into the Sandbox under the supervision of the central bank, the BSP, last year. And then cumulatively, that we've had a cap on issuance. So we've hit that cap, which is about 100 million pesos, which is a little bit under $2 million US. Initially, it was issued on the Ronin chain and Polygon. But I think eventually we're going to add a few more chains to support. In terms of the go-to-market strategy for us, is threefold. One is to focus on the remittance market. There's about 10 million Filipinos that work overseas. So we've been pushing for exchange support in the Middle East, in Europe, and in Australia, and hopefully in the US as well. The second part is working with the GameFi community. Despite sort of the bear market, there's still a large gaming audience in the Philippines. So that's why we issued it on the Ronin chain. With that, we have about 50,000 sort of owners and about sort of almost 10 to 20,000 daily sort of transactions on that Ronin chain. The third one is what we're working on now, is actually working with merchants in the Philippines that have clients and customers overseas. And then sort of what's easy for us is that we're not an independent stablecoin company. We're an exchange licensed by the central bank. So it's actually pretty easy for us to have an existing user base that we can push the product out to once it gets full approval. And also to have an easily minting and redeeming platform on the exchange itself. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shota, and I'm a co-founder of the Decima Fund. And the Decima Fund is a Japanese venture capital fund. At the same time, we incubate the project. And then currently, we are working on the project named Japan Smart Chain, and which is a layer 1 Ethereum compatible public chain, and specifically can be used for the stablecoin project. And what I see in Japan is actually we already have the regulatory framework, which means in Japan, banks, trust bank, and the money transfer company, they can issue the stablecoin. And this rule already set 1.5 years ago, but nobody has issued a token. And we have talked to the lot banks and trust bank, money transfer company, and they found out they cannot choose the chain to be issued the stablecoin. So that's why we decided to create the layer 1 public chain. And then the key point is two. One is that in Japan, eKYC cost is heavy. And then all the banks and the trust bank and the money transfer company, so licensed entity, they don't want to bear the cost. Or when they check the business model, it just lost making business. So that's why we tackled this problem, and then it's eKYC free. So the Japan Smart Chain bear the cost, and it's free eKYC. And so we talked to different banks and the trust banks and who would like to issue the stablecoin. So that's regulation is set, but still the major player is still waiting for the first banking to jump and see. And another thing of the Japan Smart Chain, a good thing about is the data sovereignty. So some of the big corporate, Japanese corporate, they care about where the data stores and who manage the data. So that's why Japan Smart Chain, all the validator stays in Japan. And so that's make the more big corporate to they start thinking about starting issuing the stablecoin. So that's the project we are working on. Thank you. And also I used to work at the Japanese Financial Service Agency, which is a Japanese regulator, till 2022. So if we can later on, probably I can put about the Japanese regulations framework as well, if needed. Yeah.
I almost feel like this speaking like a Asian Games or World Cup, like each country try to compete with each other why they're the best, but that's just my take. Now, Korea.
Hello, my name is Jay Kim. I'm a business lead of Nodit at Lambda 256. Lambda 256 is a blockchain tech arm of Upbit, and Nodit is the enterprise-grade blockchain infrastructure platform. We have reliable node infra as well as strong data services, which covers across over 25 major networks, and it is used mainly by crypto exchanges in Korea as well as Web3 dApps globally. With the expertise in blockchain infrastructure operations and data visibility, our go-to-market strategy for stablecoin is somewhat different from other gentlemen here. We are going to work on the orchestration layer for stablecoins so that our partners work with us for enable their payment systems or remittance or even monitoring and reporting systems easily and easily access to the data as well. So that's our goal, and then in Korea to have stable coins more facilitated.
All right, thanks.
Malaysia.
My name is Joey. I'm the co-founder and CPO of Blox. We are the Malaysian Ringgit stablecoin issuer, MRC. We have been live for 2 years now, but we have never really publicly marketed ourselves simply because we have spent the first year going back and forth with the regulators, figuring out what they are okay with, what they are not okay with, given that Malaysia didn't, or actually still don't have a stablecoin framework, which makes sense. So since 2 months ago, they have stated that they are going to have a stablecoin framework, and we are currently just working with them on this. So since then, we have been very vocal in the market, trying to onboard users and get people to use us. In terms of go-to-market strategy, it's actually quite similar to what Jay was saying. We want to be the backbone of every business's companies in Malaysia. We want to build and bring hyper-localized on-chain solution into Malaysia. And we do see that blockchain money, in this case stablecoin, is a much more superior currency for innovators, for builders, for companies, for businesses. And with that, the retail users can benefit from that as well. So that's something that we are very vocal about.
Cool. Thank you all for this introduction. One, we have all of these Southeast Asian stablecoin projects with IDRX, MIRC, and Coins.ph. I would even say that, for the audience that are in Korea, Japan, or East Asian countries, I think there's so much that we can learn from these projects because you guys have already launched the stablecoin. You were actively not just thinking but executing on the distribution strategies. So for this first group, Niall, Wei, and Joey, can you guys quickly walk us through and educate us about, like, right now, if you focus on today, what is the best use case of your own stablecoin? Like, how are people using your stablecoin? Or maybe institutions are using them. And ideally, let's say next year, if we gather here again, what would you like to see? We'll start with you, Joey.
I think something that's obvious today, it's definitely cross-border payment, cross-border remittance. Given that traditionally the financial institution, they run 5 days a week, 9 or 10 hours a day. Bring all this on-chain basically makes it a financial market that runs 24/7, 365 days. And that makes a lot of trading, international trading companies, especially when you're involved in import-export, or even given the current economy, everything is interconnected. It's very important for the money itself to be interconnected as well. So that's what we see having the most traction. Basically, onboarding to like USDT, on-ramp to USDT, USDC, or in relation to that, onto other stable coins as well. But for me, myself, what I would really love to see is for us, like a Ringgit MRC, a Ringgit stablecoin, to not just be cross-border, like a channel for cross-border, but being the backbone, being the currency that everyone would like to hold because it's the most versatile, it's the most efficient, and it helps you make your operations, whatever that you're building, 100 times more efficient. Yep.
Wei?
Yeah. What I'm really focused on. What I'm really focused on right now is
liquidity. I think all of our currencies here were not like one-to-one. Those guys that were on before, it's really easy to manage their stable coins because it just converts one-to-one. Like, what's your FX rate? 1. What's your redemption cost? 1. For us, every day, every second is different, right? So for me, it's like liquidity. Like what I mean by liquidity is I want to bring more AMMs to provide liquidity for this trading pair. So what we're working on right now is trying to get a lot of, I would say not just merchants, but actually like money people. Like if you just go to the airports, that's money people. There's OTC trading people, just money people that are agnostic in terms of holding USDT or USDC vis-a-vis sort of pesos here. And then try to basically teach them that if you just provide liquidity on this trading pair, then you can make money and become your own money merchant. So sort of like you can become your own FX like business if you just by providing liquidity for this trading pair. So I think that's the most important thing because I think the traditional, the TradFi FX market is very deep, right? But then that's all sit with banks, right? If we want to bring that out of the banks into the hands of people, then you got to have this liquidity pool. So I think that's the biggest thing for us. So whenever we talk to blockchains to support us, or they're talking to us, I'm like, can you help me with liquidity? So, yeah.
If any of the money people are here, talk to Wei. Now?
Yep. For IDRX right now, IDRX itself is being used for cross-border payment and remittances. There is a lot of countries that currently sending money to Indonesia and currently using IDRX as the main stablecoin rail. And we're also partnering with PSP license that helping us to disburse to the fiat through our minting and redeem function. So currently, whether it's our people, Indonesian people that living outside Indonesia that would like to sending money back to Indonesia, they are currently using stablecoin rail and using IDRX as the main currency for them to send the money back to their family, right? all businesses that currently using IDRX, and it happens for export and import, and it happened between Indonesia and United States. Currently, we do have pairing between IDRX and USDC or USDT. So maybe previously most of the company are trying to using USDT just because of the efficiency of the cost of the time limit as well. Now they don't need to using USDT from end to end. Now the businesses from US could sending USDC, and the businesses in Indonesia could receive in IDRX and could disburse directly to IDR rupiah as well. So that's how we penetrate the market and becoming the main use cases for IDRX at this moment.
Cool. Now switching gears a bit for Korea and Japan, you guys, or I guess we are as a Korean myself, I think the regulatory environment is just moving along. I think even between Korea and Japan, we're in a very different situation. Shota, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think JPYC is the first regulated Japanese yen stablecoin that actually came out not too long ago. I believe it was a month or 2 months ago. Jay, in Korea, we still haven't seen the first stablecoin yet because it's not being regulated at all. So regulation kind of matters in this space, but I'm curious from two of you, what is maybe the biggest lesson that you've learned from having worked with or engaging with a regulator, and how do you see regulation in both Korea and Japan shaping up in relation to your project? Jay, you're smiling, so I'll let you go first.
Because I want to start first because we are not regulated yet, but Japan already has strong regulations already. So my experience, regulators in Korean financial system always try to figure out how to make new regulations for new instruments can be fit in to existing regulatory framework. So I think in Korea, most of discussions around KRW stablecoins are ending up actually comparing it to something like prepaid money instrument like T-money or Kakao Pay money. So they ask a question like, does a stable coin have a safeguard for consumers, like cash reserves and redemption rights and something like daily limits or issuance limits, something like that? And if the answer is yes, obviously stablecoin can be supervised under a familiar framework rather than treated as like unknown risk. That's, I think, the situation in Korea.
Okay, about Japan, JPYC is one of the startup, and who recently got the license, got the money transfer license, and they are now eligible to issue the stablecoin. But actually, they're not the first player to be eligible. As I said, so 1.5 years ago, Japan FSA already set the banks, trust bank, money transfer company. Any of them can issue the stablecoin, but nobody issued a stablecoin yet. And then why people are excited about the JPYC is that they have done the stablecoin business by using the prepaid money license. So they talk to a lot of people about the use case, and so they know what the business is actually. And then now, so previously they cannot convert back to the fiat from the stablecoin since it's a prepaid license. But now they got the money transfer license, which means they can convert back to the fiat. So now all the banks and some traditional conventional players, even though they're eligible to issue stablecoin, but they didn't, and then they are looking into the JPYC. What's the next move? What kind of use case they gonna make? And currently, JPYC is eligible to issue the stablecoin. However, they haven't issued yet. And so on the public chain, a stablecoin, we don't have any yet. But private chain side is actually we have a lot. And over 20, I think 10 to 20 regional banks already issued a tokenized deposit on the private chain. But this use case is limited. So we are expecting that what we can do on the public chain. So that's the next phase of Japan.
So in terms of public chains, just on this topic, in the next 6 to 12 months, how many Japanese yen-pegged stablecoins would you say is going to come out in the next 6 to 12 months?
Okay, my assumption is I think at least 2-3 trust bank will issue the stablecoin in next half year, and also some of the regional bank will issue. I think this is 1 or 2, a regional bank will issue the stablecoin on chain. So that's my expectation and assumption.
Okay. We'll make sure that we have the same panel next year to see how correct this prediction is. I think we have time just for really quick last question, guys. If you all were to bet on one killer use case to make Asian stablecoins go mainstream, what would it be, and how is your project preparing for it? Joey?
Oh, that's a tough one. My focus, what I think, it's going to be very B2B related. At first, I was thinking on-chain escrow, like cross-border escrow payment, something that basically will make the whole supply chain pick it up. But on top of that, what I think could really make or break Asia stablecoin and local stablecoin is actually yield. And yield not in USD, but yield in the local currency. So MRC, yield on MRC, without exposure to FX risk, that's going to be big.
In Korea, I think the most tangible real use case is going to be public transportation card. Because when my friends from Switzerland visited last year, I didn't realize that foreigners have so much difficulties in topping up and using public transportation card because they have to have one-time transit, have to buy one-time transit card, or they have to buy a card and topping up with the cash at the kiosk, which is not known for common Koreans, because we actually use credit cards or debit cards, just tag it and bus or subway. So I think this KLW stablecoin can really solve this problem very elegantly, and I think this is going to be the killer case.
Sure. Yep.
In Japan side, I think B2B, B2C is different, and the B2C part, since probably you guys have been to Japan and go to the convenience store and you can see the payment way is 20 or 30 of the QR payment is acceptable in the convenience store. So the retail payment side is probably limited, and then I guess the B2C retail side, maybe the retail investor can access to the DeFi world. That's probably the B2C's next milestone we should target. And the B2B side is quite big. And then I think the first use case or biggest use case we're gonna have in this year, 1 year, is the supply chain. So some of the Japanese big corporate like a Toyota or the auto company and also the manufacturing company, we have the subsidiary or the factory outside of Japan, and then they need to do all the transaction between this subsidiary in the group, and then those payment and those cash settlement need to be done and quickly and also the low cost, and so that's why a lot of traditional a manufacturing company is trying to use the stable coin in their supply chain.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a different take. I don't think it's gonna be businesses. I think it's gonna be retail. And the reason it's gonna be retail, I think if you guys saw the news, Coinbase listed a Singapore stablecoin and Australia stablecoin yesterday or today. I think if we can get these bigger exchanges, say like a Binance, to support these local stablecoins, I actually think trading is gonna be the biggest use case. if Binance does start supporting local stablecoins, and I think a lot of the other exchanges will follow suit, and I think that will bring much more volume and liquidity, I think, into our space.
Sorry, specifically, do you mean trading for cryptocurrency?
Crypto trading, yeah.
Got it.
No, trading, yeah, I mean, just, yeah, not like commercial, not like goods trading, like speculation
Buy
trading.
more coins.
Yes,
Got it. Buy more coins.
Buy tokens trading. Okay. Yeah, and indirectly, I think, FX, I guess, so.
No?
Okay. Yeah, for us, IDRX, we don't think that retail payment in Indonesia have a problem. We do have a good curious technology that could just pay using your mobile phone, and hence that we do think that cross-border payment still could be the most killer use cases. And if we are not preparing it, then I guess the US dollar stablecoin could come into Indonesia and could also come into your country as well. And I don't think there is no way for our government to be able to okay with that situation, which our country could using USD stablecoin as a major currency for cross-border payment, just because we do not have local currency in stablecoin form, right? So with that said, that we must have our own local stablecoin, especially in Indonesia, to be able to using and be used for cross-border payment and still strengthening our rupiah sovereignty.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. So this is just like personal experience, because we applied with the regulator for our stablecoin since 2023, right? So it took us like a year to get into Sandbox, and it took a year to get out of the Sandbox. And what Neil mentioned is actually really, really, really key. It's a point that we've been hashing with our regulator from day one, is like, if you don't allow us to issue our own stablecoin, then you're going to lose sovereignty over your money. It's like you're going to have US dollars stablecoins coming into your country, and then you're going to have no ways to control whatever the fuck is going to happen to your money. People are just going to move their money into the US dollar stablecoin, and then that money's gone. Right? So like if you lose that, and I don't think they quite understood it when we brought up that concept 2 years ago, but I think they're understanding it now. Right? When you have like the Treasury Secretary of the US saying, we want your dollars. We want everybody to be using dollars. Right? Like they get it now. It's like, if you don't move now, like you guys are going to be out of a job.
Well, and such a huge implication on the national economy as well, right? So like one thing that I also love about conversations like this and stablecoin as a vertical as well is that the very reason that a lot of the regulators and the government entities are heavily involved in this type of conversation is that it's more than just pegging national currency to a digital version so that it's more convenient. It does touch upon a lot of the geopolitical situations around the world, right? So let me just wrap up. Yield, public transportation, supply chain. You first mentioned buy more coins, but you also mentioned a lot of different things, and then cross-border payment. And I think that this perfectly captures also like the mission of accelerating Asian stablecoins. The reason that we think that Asia stands as the ideal hub for the global stablecoin economy is because of the diversity that Asia represents, and you just saw that in everybody's answers. So please give a warm round of applause for all the panelists today, and thanks for listening.